This is a Boeing 737. For decades, it has been one of the most widely used passenger aircraft in the world. Reliable, routine, and designed for predictability. On September 29, 2006, one of them was flying over the Amazon rainforest. At the same time, another aircraft was approaching from the opposite direction. They were both at 37,000 feet. They were both following their assigned routes, and they were at the same altitude. What happened next was not the result of a single failure, but multiple small failures aligned at the same time, and how a system designed to prevent collisions failed to do so.
Do exercício da profissão, o Ministério Público Federal.
À noite, outros 20 corpos chegaram a Brasília.
O Tribunal Regional Federal da Primeira Região julga hoje.
Modern air travel depends on separation. Aircraft don't just move freely through the sky, they follow invisible corridors, airways, managed by air traffic control. Altitude is one of the most important layers of that system. Flight levels are standardized altitudes measured in hundreds of feet. FL 370 means 37,000 feet. It's a system designed to ensure that even without visual contact, aircraft remain safely separated. Typically, any aircraft flying in opposite directions are assigned different flight levels. One climbs, the other descends. They're never supposed to meet. Gol Flight 1907 had departed from Manaus, heading southeast toward Brasilia. On board were 154 people. It was a routine domestic flight, nothing unusual. The Legacy 600 had taken off earlier from São José dos Campos. It was being delivered to its new owners in the United States. On board were 2 American pilots and 5 passengers, including journalists and aviation professionals traveling on a routine delivery flight. It was a quiet flight, new aircraft, clear weather, minimal traffic. Shortly after reaching cruising altitude, the Legacy jet was cleared to climb to 37,000 feet.
Show 600 X-ray, November 600 X-ray Lima, flight level 370.
At some point during the flight, that clearance changed. Air traffic control expected the aircraft to descend to 36,000 feet as it continued along its route, but that descent never happened. The Legacy remained at 37,000 feet. In Brazilian airspace at the time, radar coverage over remote regions, especially the Amazon, was limited. Controllers relied heavily on radio communication and pilot reports. If communication was interrupted, the system became less certain. Not blind, but less precise. At a critical point in the flight, the Legacy jet lost radio contact with air traffic control. The pilots continued flying, believing they were still cleared at their current altitude. Inside the cockpit, there were no alarms, no warnings, no indication that anything was wrong. At the same time, Gol Flight 1907 was approaching from the opposite direction, also at 37,000 feet, also following its assigned path. Both aircraft were now aligned, same altitude, opposite directions, closing distance at a combined speed of over 800 kilometers per hour. Modern aircraft are equipped with a system called TCAS, short for Traffic Collision Avoidance System. It detects nearby aircraft and issues warnings if a collision risk is detected, but on the Legacy jet, the system wasn't functioning correctly. It had stopped transmitting its position. To Gol Flight 1907, the Legacy effectively didn't exist. At 4:56 p.m., over a remote region of the Amazon, the 2 aircraft intersected. The winglet of the Legacy jet sliced into the left wing of the Boeing 737. The contact lasted only seconds, but it was enough. The Legacy jet suffered damage to its wing and stabilizer, but remained controllable. Inside the cockpit, the pilots felt the impact. They didn't immediately know what they had hit. Gol Flight 1907 lost a significant portion of its left wing. The aircraft became unstable. Control was lost. Without full lift, the Boeing 737 began to roll, then descend. The pilots attempted to recover, but the damage was too severe. Within minutes, the aircraft broke apart and fell into the dense forest below. None of the 154 people on board survived. The Legacy jet, despite the collision, remained airborne. The pilots declared an emergency. For nearly an hour, they continued flying the damaged aircraft. They diverted to a nearby airbase and landed safely. All 7 people on board survived. In the hours that followed, air traffic control lost contact with Gol Flight 1907. Search efforts began over a vast and difficult terrain. The wreckage was eventually located deep within the Amazon rainforest. The investigation focused on multiple factors: communication failures, altitude misassignment, and the inoperative collision avoidance system. Air travel safety depends on layers: air traffic control, onboard systems, pilot awareness. Each layer is designed to compensate for the others. But when multiple layers fail at the same time, the margin for error disappears. The collision between Gol Flight 1907 and the Legacy 600 was not caused by a single mistake. It was the result of several small failures aligned at the same time. One aircraft following its route, another maintaining its altitude, a system that didn't fully see either of them. In isolation, none of these would have caused a disaster. Together, they did. 154 people lost their lives that day, not because the system didn't exist, but because, for a brief moment, it stopped working as intended. In the years that followed, the investigation led to changes across multiple parts of the system. Communication protocols were tightened, radar and coverage limitations were addressed, and greater emphasis was placed on ensuring that onboard collision systems remain active and fully monitored. Modern aviation is built on layers of redundancy, each one designed to catch what another might miss. Gol Flight 1907 became part of that process, not as an isolated tragedy, but as a failure the system learned from.